throws up after the workout. I'm pretty good once we get to the show. Riley just looks like he jogged a mile, and that's why Riley Green looks like the way he does, and why Jimmy and I look the way we do. As I'm remodeling a bathroom right now, it's nothing exciting. This is a nice break.
Oh no, tell me more about that though. That's
It's my wife wants this like Italian looking plaster walled floating sink, floating faucet, floating stone sink, floating faucet type situation. And
oh,
we were ready to do it for so long. We had contractor quotes and stuff. And I was like, I could do this shit. I'm gonna figure this out. And so I'm about 80% done. And it's fulfilling. It's nice. It's very it's been educational, we'll say.
that's total DIY, total.
It's total DIY. Yeah, just literally chat GPT and YouTube and just tearing the wall out, redoing all the plumbing, all the stuff, just learning as I go. And it's a nice little summer project. It's going to be awesome and a hell of a lot cheaper once I'm done. And now I know at least a little more than I did when I started. So,
And then already, once that's done, you already know there's going to be a part two, and there's going to be
dude,
a
I know.
backyard, there's going to be a barbecue, there's going to be something else that has to be.
It's literally that is what is next. And that is what has been planned during this is an outdoor kitchen thing I'm going to build now. That's
Is that for you? Or is that for everyone?
I'm the only one that's going to use it, but it's for
So,
everybody.
like I said, doing all my crack research, and I think the biggest take I got out of everything so far was that the spice you guys use is called Tajin and not Tajin, which I've been calling for the past 20 years now or whatever.
Tajin.
That's the greatest takeaway of all. I can thank you very much for that.
Tahini's the best, man.
So is that you guys use that all the time? Are you big into spices, or is that just something a little tricky guys use for that?
I love everything spicy. And I mean, growing up in California, obviously there's like huge Hispanic culture. And so I feel like just growing up around it, I just want everything spicy at all times. And tahini makes drinks better.
You use it for anything else, or just purely drinks?
Drinks, fruit. It's good on fruit. Yeah,
Mm.
you put some chamoy, some tahini on your fruit. It's or even just tahini.
Mm.
It's like a
You,
nice little spicy, sweet salt kind of thing.
so you big into the hot sauce thing, like the like sriracha types and all that, or is that
I don't do anything crazy with hot sauce, but I definitely love most of them. But I don't do any of those like hot sauce challenges or anything too crazy because then you're just burning your tongue and you're just not even going to taste what you're eating, and it's not the best. But yeah, sriracha. I mean, Cholula is king. Cholula is the best, and sriracha's cool. On some like rice and veggies and stuff. But I could put Cholula literally on everything.
speaking of challenges? I'll veer right off on that right off the bat. Was when you were in Buffalo, was the and I saw that on Instagram, the table slamming event, was
Yeah.
that a challenge, or was that just something I'm just going to do regardless of challenge or no challenge?
So I'm a diehard 49ers fan, and every year I try to go to one away game every season is my goal. And when I saw they were playing Buffalo, I got some friends that are from Buffalo and whatnot, and just go see the stadium. I knew it was going to be snowing. It was in December. It was going to be an experience, be awesome. And my buddy that's from there, he had set up like, set us up with these like crazy tailgate parties and all this stuff. And instantly, as soon as the plan was set in motion, he said, "You're jumping through a table, right?" And I was like, yeah, I mean, let's get the whole Buffalo experience, right? Bills Mafia. Let's earn some respect while we're out there. And I made it through the whole tailgate party, no table. He kept saying, "Yeah, we got to go all the way to the other side to get it from my truck, and we'll bring it back." Blah blah. But then by that time, it hadn't happened. So yeah, we're walking towards the stadium. It's literally like a blizzard. I mean, the crazy snow, and we see these people. They got a table set up the way everybody actually uses tables, just for food and drinks, and they're packing it all up to go inside the game. And so he walks up and he's like, "Yo, can we give you $50 for this table so that my 49er friend can jump through it real quick?" And they're like, "Sure, why not?" So strangers, it was a challenge, but it wasn't a bet or anything. It was just you're gonna do it. And I said, okay. And so they held me to it.
Would you feel afterward? Any lingering pain afterward, or just a thrill, just a rush?
It was just the rush at the moment. But then the next morning, a bunch of people, because I had posted it, were hitting me up. They're like, "Yo, how's your neck? How's your neck?" And I was like, it's it's actually it is sore. It's like really sore. Like it looks like you got whiplash. And so I look back at the video and dude, and it's just my neck just whack. And so like the next 4 days were actually pretty brutal on my neck, but it was the only thing that hurt. But yeah, you see my neck literally over the edge of the table, just and then back up. That's not the best.
And Buffalo's brutal at that time. How cold was it that you had to be?
I think it was like, I think it was like 5 degrees or something like that, give or take. All I know, I mean, maybe actually not even that cold, but when you're out in it for hours, like it was pretty damn cold. I mean, we had like the face covers. We even bought like electric pants in case we needed to turn them on. I didn't, I was too tough. I
Mm.
just dealt with it. I think my wife used hers. It was cool though. I mean, of all the away games and stuff I've been to, that we lost by like 40 points that game. I mean, it was a terrible game for the 49ers, but it still was like easily like probably top three favorite sporting experience I've ever done. Just because it was a blizzard. I mean, like the snowflakes were like this big. Everything was already like, the stadium's already cleared out, ready for the game. And then even then, us walking to our seats, we had to like push snow out of the way so we could even walk to get to where we were at and down so we weren't just standing seat level above everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool, man. It was a good time.
If I went to one Buffalo game in my life, it was probably I think it was Seattle, and I think it was about November, beautiful sunny out, but it was about -3 with a wind chill. It was you have a
In
couple. And it's not that bad when you have a couple of drinks and you don't notice it till like the end of the game.
Yeah,
But it was.
I was having a good time. Yeah.
Were you performing up there at the time, or you just randomly go up there?
No, yeah, just the random away game of the season. As soon as it gets announced, I just look and I go like, all right, who's the team I want to see this year play against mine? And what's like the cool city we all want to go to? It's usually a pretty big group of guys that all head out there. And we're still trying to figure out what it's going to be this year. I might be doing Seattle week 1. I
Mhm.
don't know. Schedule's crazy, so sometimes it's hard to coordinate when I can actually do it, and then to get my friends to also be available on like the one game I can go to on a Sunday that year or something is kind of tough, but still got time.
Well, how many cities have you gotten to so far? How many are left as well?
Oh, I just started this like
Oh,
probably like 6 years ago, and so I'm like 6 to 8 down, I think.
well, you got
I,
quite a bit. You got quite a bit to go there.
I might have to start doubling up. I might have to start doing 2 a year.
We can go right back into barbecuing then.
Yeah.
That's why I did want to ask. Like, do you do a lot of barbecuing at home now, or?
I don't really cook so much at home. I mean, I got a Blackstone, and if I'm here and we're sitting around and we're only home a couple days a week sometimes, and so it's like you go out and you buy a bunch of stuff, and then it all just goes bad by the time you get back next week. So if we do decide to cook and go all out, we just buy enough for like 1 to 2 days. And I love my Blackstone. That's what I was saying. I want to build like a big like outdoor kitchen around it kind of thing. And but yeah, Uber Eats, DoorDash, that kind of stuff. We're just not home too much, so food goes bad, man.
Is that just like life as a musician, or do you really keep a lot of tabs on your nutrition, or?
Yeah, I mean the best I can. My problem is I guess not my problem, just the problem of musicians on the road is, you're out there and you're drinking a lot, and after show food is, the venue is giving you pizza and stuff after the show and all these things. So it's I literally had to change my diet up like a few years ago because even you go, no, we don't want pizza. They're like, well, that's what's coming. And so if we're not on fly dates and we're on a bus and stuff, I can bring groceries and that kind of and everything like that to keep on, keep it all on track. But we do work out a lot on the road as much as we can. That's obviously clear to all of us that nutrition is the most important thing about working out, or you're just kind of working off the beers if you're lucky. And yeah, I'd say about a year and a half ago, I got really, really into fitness again, really, really into just, I mean, I'm gonna be 40 in February. And so, it's the time of our life where it all slows down and starts getting wider. And so my goal was to get ahead of that. And we built out like a really cool garage gym downstairs. And, everybody's always, at least anytime I've ever had any sort of exercise equipment at home, it's like you're all excited you get it. And then because I'm like, yeah, if I'm never home and then a few days I am here, I get to work out at home. I don't have to leave. It's going to be awesome. And then you do that for a few weeks. And you're like, man, I really wish I could go to a gym right now. This is getting, and so I do have a
That
gym
works.
membership on the street as well. And I just kind of swap on and off between them and whatnot. But I felt like I got pretty heavy a few years ago for me. And so I stripped it all down and My friends always say I'm like a roller coaster dieter. Like over the years, like
Mhm.
I get in really good shape, and then by Christmas, I'm like, "Oh, I got to get in really good shape again." This was like the first time over the past couple of years where I actually kept the habits, kept working out, kept eating clean, and trying to just stay where I'm at right now, or just a little bit better. But
I think the funny thing is, I think every singer, every musician I've ever spoken with, every venue they have, it's always pizza. Can you guys like speak up or have like a union, like say, hey guys, can you help us out a little bit here?
I know it's because it's quick, it's easy, it's late night, it's they if they're gonna feed you regular, like around dinner time, you usually get a menu and you can choose from and whatnot, and get your salads or your meat and your veggies. And but yeah, come when you should be eating the healthiest late at night, the only things that are open, they're like, yeah, dude, Pizza Hut will be here in 20 minutes. And we're like, and then you've got a little buzz going, adrenaline's high from the show, and you're hungry and shows up and pizza's good. So it's all about making the right decisions during the day.
Well,
I intermittent fast a lot.
how's that work for you?
I mean, I think it works amazing for me. I know some people say it doesn't really do anything for them, but um, breakfast, I would say, is probably my favorite type of food.
Mhm.
I don't like eating breakfast in the morning. I wake up and I'm never hungry in the morning. And, most important meal of the day, you eat, you get your nutrition, it powers your brain, it gets you going. For me, I swear to God, it doesn't matter what I eat. I could just eat eggs, nothing on them. And it'll make me kind of feel slumpish and just like full and not ready to tackle the day. But fasting, it's just, I love it. If I'm home, I usually eat my first meal like around 2, and then um, I eat dinner around like 7:38, and then a snack around 10, and then I go to sleep around like midnight or 1, give or take, and then it works.
So you're ripping a bit, you're ripping a bathroom apart on a empty stomach?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, it's 3:14. I haven't eaten today, and I just realized that right now. But I'm actually not even hungry. I don't know. But this bathroom project, man, teaches you a lot about yourself. My wife was like, "Are you sure you could do this?" And I was like, "I got it. I know what's inside the wall. I have that knowledge. I don't necessarily know how to change what you want behind the wall, but I'm just going to open it up and start cutting things up until the pieces fit." We had some water explosions and stuff. It was a good time, but it all runs now, you know?
That's why you got a mop, right?
Exactly. 100%.
Well, who put together your gym, your home gym? Was that you?
I did it. Yeah. It's nothing crazy. It's like a Peloton bike. It's a tonal system on the wall.
Oh, you,
And then I got trying to think of what the brand is, but yeah, it's just two dumbbells that I could switch just by turning it
okay.
from like
The adjustables.
10 to like hundreds, I think is what it goes up
Oh, you got
to.
the power blocks.
Yeah, it's big. And then yeah, we got those, and then we have, tons of resistance ropes and jump ropes and weighted vests. And we kind of, if we're working out at home, if I'm not doing the tonal, I'll just do like circuits. I'll just build like a circuit out in my driveway or in the garage and just rock it like that. It's kind of like how we work out on the road, honestly. If we are in a bus, we take just a bunch of kettlebells and some dumbbells and um, some medicine balls, some of the big ones like the slam balls, and we just build little like circuits outside. And that's kind of like my favorite way to work out. Just outside, it's hot, you're sweaty, running a circuit with the band. Yeah, it's fun. Hotel gyms. And so compared to a hotel, when we do get to do it our own way like that, that's the best.
Where do you do? You just pull the bus over, or do you pull into an arena? What'd you do with that?
Yeah, I mean, usually once we're like parked at whatever venue we're playing, and there's plenty of, it's funny sometimes because, yeah, if you're doing, an auditorium, an arena, or you're doing a fair or festival, you're parked on the grounds behind a stage next to other buses. There's plenty of space. And if you're not playing any of those and you're playing like a club or, any type of other venue, you're just parked on a random street. And then we just, sidewalk side, we just set it all up, hopefully next to some grass, and people walk by and clap or laugh or look at us and ignore us. And you just got to make it happen wherever you can, because junk food and beer is the main recipe of what it's like to be on tour that is around you at all times. And so just got to balance that out.
Got to burn it off somehow. But
Yeah.
what's like the strange? Well, I wouldn't say the strangest, but like strangest reactions you did get in that? Because I'm trying to visualize you on out here in Phoenix, maybe outside one of the little local venues, just
Yeah.
setting up kettlebells, dumbbells, and band. How does that work? And no one says
I don't
anything.
really know. Yeah, I don't know if there's weird interactions as much as like because people see the bus, so they get it. They know they're a band, and um, the best is when dogs come up and see us and they run up and they want to like hang out. Or I don't know if you have dogs or whatnot, but if I'm working out at home and I'm trying to do push-ups or stretching or anything like that, my dog's instantly just down in my face, licking me, want to know what the hell I'm doing down there. And it's dogs that are on walks, if you're just working out, they're on a long leash, they run up to you, they start hanging out, working out with you a little bit. But I think when people see us on the side of the road working out, I like to think they're inspired. Um, Inspired by homeless looking band guys working out on the side of the street.
When you play your own music when you're
No, man, we listen to metal usually. Usually some pretty heavy stuff. A lot of us grew up in metal bands and whatnot, like in our early years. And I don't know if you ever work out listening to metal, but it makes you want to work out more. It makes me like fired up. It makes me want to like go heavier, get that one extra rep.
Yeah, I think right now I'm hooked on Octane right now and Sirius. So
Yeah,
you work
perfect.
out a little bit of Breaking Benjamin, a
Yeah.
little bit of those Ben Folds and a few others, I think.
And yeah, anything like that, man. It's that's what gets us going. I got friends that literally listen to country music when they're working out. And obviously I love country music. I don't know how the hell you can work out listening to country music. More power to them for making it happen still, but big guys, super in shape, super healthy, just rocking to Tim McGraw doing bench. I don't know. I'd much rather have Memphis Mayfire or Breaking Benjamin or anything that's wage war, that kind of stuff that gets me fired up.
Well, since you're all in Nashville, everyone's in Nashville, every artist out. Have you been to training with anybody? Have you ever trained with Tim McGraw or Brett Young or anybody? Or
No, I mean I've never Tim. Brett and I have worked out a couple times on the road together. We've actually done a couple tours together. One time, like yeah, anytime there's a setup and you're on a tour and it's definitely not on the side of the street, but if you're in the back of a festival or wherever it is and there's a bunch of setup and everybody's working out, a lot of times other band guys and artists will come together and start working out. And it's cool. Gets you it's a good camaraderie moment before the show. And but one time we were touring through we were on Long Island and my buddy's a trainer out there. And this is probably like 6 years ago, I guess now, 7. And he hits me up. He's like, "Hey, before the show, you should come over here. Let me whoop your ass in the gym today." And he's a tough trainer.
who's that? Who would that be?
His name's Dan Michaels. He's just like a good friend of mine over the years, but he's based in Pennsylvania now. I think a little outside of Philly, but
Right.
he was on Long Island. That's where he's from. And so we went to his gym, and it was me, Jimmy Allen, and Riley Green. And I mean, he put us through hell, right? And of course, Riley Green he's just completely fine. He's just like he's sweating, he's tired, but it's just like nothing compared to Jimmy and I. Jimmy and I are just literally just passing away. And like Jimmy throws up after the workout. I'm pretty good once we get to the show. Riley just looks like he jogged a mile. And that's why Riley Green looks like the way he does, and why Jimmy and I look the way we do. And but it's definitely a good memory because yeah, we got our ass kicked. But that's another thing, a lot of times if you're coming through, gyms will offer you like, hey, give us a couple tickets to the show and you and the band can come work out at our gym here locally and that kind of stuff, which is always such a huge hookup. A lot of times YMCA's let you work out for free on the road if you go to those, which are actually, for anybody listening, for me, I always, until about like 8 years ago, I always thought like YMCA, I was like, why would anybody want to go there? I think that's like the worst gym ever. But they're actually really nice. They're like, in a lot of places, they're like big, nice, beautiful gyms. And maybe, I don't know, for some reason, I was always like, oh no, I'm good. I'm good. And then you went once and you're like, oh yeah, these are great. But
I've heard the same thing about Planet Fitness a lot. Like a lot of musicians also, they're like, "Hey, what's up in Planet Fitness?" I'm like, really? You're a musician. You're on the radio. Why would you go there? Then I stop in every once in a while. Like, these are not bad gyms at all. They get a
yeah.
bum rap, but they're everywhere for one thing. They're on
And
every.
you know what you're going to get. That's my favorite thing about Planet Fitness too, is a couple of us in our band can have, the membership thing and we can each bring friends for free. And so it actually ends up being really cheap if we can't find a free gym because Planet Fitness is my actually only like real complaint is that they're off the beaten path usually a little bit. And when we're playing at a venue, we're usually like in a downtown area. And those are Planet Fitnesses are always like more in like the suburbs, the boroughs kind of
Right.
thing. So you usually have to go kind of far to get to one. But yeah, my favorite thing is Planet Fitness. You know what you're going to get. They all pretty much look exactly the same. They have pretty much all the same machines. It's easy, it's clean, it's cheap, and we get to shower. Good. Yeah, you can't hate on Planet Fitness, man. It's great.
Not at all. But with that, how do you feel like when it comes showtime? How do you feel like how you're working out, the training that you're when you're on stage? Do you feel better? Do you feel more energized, more ready to go, or
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just like working out and then anything you would do in your regular life. You never feel better or ready to tackle the day than after a workout, at least, for me. Gives you those endorphin boosts, your adrenaline's going. Feel good about yourself, right? Like that's the best. Feel like you accomplished something for your body and your health and your mind that day. And then you get to go on stage, you get to play a show. And I mean, if I go on like a little stint where I haven't worked out for a few weeks or whatever, I'm always like on stage, I'm always like tugging on my shirt a little bit, and when you work out, you just feel good. And it, confidence on stage is like one of the most important things, right? You have to feel good in your body and your skin and just feel confident up there. And so, uh, even if they're like quick little workouts, we try to get something in every day. Also, it's like you're wearing a shirt. It always looks good if your veins are popping a little bit when you're on stage, right? So we have like tension bands and stuff backstage that if we don't get a full workout in, we'll do, some push-up circuits and some always stretch, which I mean, you got to stretch before you on stage. But yeah, we do some like push-up circuits, some of those like tension band curls and that kind of stuff. And it's get a little pump for you on stage and yeah, you just feel good.
got to get that pump for sure?
Pump. Joe, my guitar player, he'll do it forever. He's always just like shredding on the guitar and his little biceps popping. It's funny. We
I
give him
did want
shit.
to ask,
But
now that what the Leaving California tour is coming up, like, do you have to train different? Do you have to train now for that? Do you have to prepare like you're gonna be away every weekend? Hey, performance night after night. That you got to be in for the long haul. By the last weeks, you're still in shape. Your voice is in 100%. And
yeah, not necessarily right now because that is the Leaving California tour, but we're always pretty much on tour. Like it's right now through the summer, the weekends we're out doing fairs, festivals, city events, that kind of stuff. And then this fall is an actual tour name, but we're still just doing what we do every week. It just happens to be on a poster with a bunch of dates and a title. Uh, what you're asking though is super super relevant to right around February or March every year because after like right around Christmas until sometimes mid-March, we don't really tour or do anything. And, it's the winter and you get cozy and you eat a lot and you see family. And then all of a sudden it's about to be March and you're about to be touring all year again. Um, that's why it's super, super important to stay active during those down months as much as you can, which is really easy not to when it's cold and cozy and you're just kind of chilling. But yeah, that's when you gotta like, especially like breathing. Like if my cardio is off, and then I'm on stage for 75 minutes singing and jumping around with my band, you feel it. And like there's the technicality of a singer being able to really hit the notes and everything they're supposed to do is really comes down to your breathing. And if you're not in shape, you're gasping for air on stage, you could hit any note you want in your bedroom, but you're not going to hit it on stage. And so, yeah, keep your cardio up and making sure your t-shirts fit, man.
how many hats do you own?
Oh, hundreds. Yeah, hundreds and hundreds. I get I go through a lot. There's sometimes I get hats and I don't actually ever even wear them. I feel like I got a weird shaped head, and so it's got to fit me perfect. Um, and yeah, if I do know if I'm going to be getting rid of one soon, though, I'll wear that on stage that night usually, and then sign it and throw it to somebody because I already know I'm going to be getting rid of it, and so it's just an easy, nice, cool moment with a fan. This is my wife's clothing company, though. It's called Cowboy Tears.
Oh,
She does,
wow.
yeah, Cowboy Tears. She does bandanas, hats, and socks as of right now. It's been around, they've been a company for a year, but um, yeah, bandanas are all designed by different artists from different cities and capsule drops and everything's made in America and stuff. And she's crushing it. And
Wow.
now it's cool because I don't ever want to wear a hat that says Tyler Rich on it, right? It's just kind of cheesy, but I can now wear a hat that at least supports my wife rather than just some random brand that's on my head.
No, it's super cool. Is merch very important for you as far as
Like my merch?
yeah, your merch is that a big thing as far as I guess the industry?
Yeah, there are definitely artists that are a little, you know, lazy. I wouldn't say lazy. They just don't necessarily care too much about it, and just the merch company creates designs, and they kind of like, yeah, that's cool, whatever, sell it, sell it. Whereas in me with my merch, I pretty much only have things designed and sign off on them that I would wear,
Hmm.
and so it's got to be, it's just got to be cool. It's got to be something that like if I was going to watch one of my favorite bands and they had that T-shirt, would I buy that? And so I do take a lot of thought and pride into what we are selling.
Now
I just
Is Cowboy Tears the official brand of Tyler Rich?
no, 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 no. We keep it all separate. Yeah. We have talked about doing a collab though for this Leaving California side B album that's coming out. We've talked about doing a Tyler Rich Cowboy Tears collab. We just haven't fully like dived into what that means
Oh,
yet.
dogs. How'd you get into writing children's books?
It kind of just happened kind of out of nowhere, just off like a whim, just an idea. I run a dog rescue on the road called Rich Rescues. We raise awareness to of shelters and just people that are helping their communities to fans in these cities to let them know how they can help and all these different things. And when my dog of 17 years passed a couple years ago, I wrote a song called Dogs Don't Die. And I was just in a conversation one day, just thinking of like explaining, it's not a sad dog song. It's a hopeful, feel good song about our pups and what they leave us with. And, um, hopefully I was telling somebody that had lost their dog of just, listen to the song. I hope it helps you, grieve in a positive way. And then they had mentioned something about their kids. I was like, they're gonna love it too. And then it kind of just hit me with an idea of writing a Dogs Don't Die children's book that could just help a little kid get through, which is, the inevitable heartbreak of losing a pup. And so that was at the beginning of this year. And I wrote down all the ideas for it, how I wanted the story to go and everything. And then I came up with an idea for a second one and then a third one, completely unrelated to Dogs Don't Die. And then I was looking at all three of them. And I was like, what am I waiting for? I felt like I was just kind of stalling, scared to try something new. And so from like February to I guess probably May, I wrote these three books and then started getting them illustrated. And now the first one's out. It's just happening, which is crazy. And my friend's like, "You're an author now." I was like, I don't think I'm an author now. I think I got to write like a real book to be an author, but it's cool. The feedback's been awesome. Everybody's been just over the moon about it, and it follows, a dog named Abby that represents my husky that I had, and it's there's like a cool little interactive page in the back too. That's, what's your dog's name? Draw a picture of them here. What do you still see? What do you still smell? Like, for the kid to keep as like a little memento type thing as well. And it's cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
The second
cool.
one's almost done being illustrated now. It's most likely going to be coming out like early September also. Just crazy.
Oh wow, so cool. What's
Yeah.
is the writing process the same as writing a song? You have to look at it from a different perspective, different strategy.
Yeah, completely different. Because I mean, I don't even know if I know what I'm doing with songwriting, but I definitely don't know what I'm doing with children's books. And so I just, went through and just started reading a bunch of books that were kind of similar concept and getting ideas of flow and pace um and just, I don't know. I just wrote it. Like I said, I don't feel like an author. I just feel like a country singer that's writing children's books now. But I don't know. My brain is kind of crazy with like ADD and all these different things I want to be doing at all times. And I've always kind of felt like there was something else artistically in me that I should, kind of pigeonhole and chase that's different than music. And when you put 100% of everything into one thing at all times, it's rewarding, but also can be, overwhelming. And so I just needed a hobby that I could also turn into something that was a different business avenue that was also related to art. And so my second one is called Leave the Wolf Wild. It's themed after my song Leave Her Wild. And it follows this pack of wolves. And the dad is teaching his his three pups how to hunt. And the two boys are obviously like super into it. And then the little girl, wanders off into the flowers and is dancing and singing. And the boys are like, why doesn't she want to be a regular wolf? Why doesn't she want to hunt, all these things? And the dad teaches the life lesson of if you want to be an alpha and you want to lead a pack one day, you got to give other wolves something to follow that's different than every other wolf and be yourself, and just teaches this life lesson of leaving the wolf wild. And I was really excited for Dogs Don't Die, but I'm super, super excited for this book. I think it's Dogs Don't Die is such a niche, right? It's like, unfortunately, a family or a kid has to be going through something tough for them to need or want that book. Whereas in Leave Her Wild is hopefully a children's book classic.
Damn. How'd you get the inspiration for that? That's
It follows Leave Her Wild, what the song is about. Leave Her Wild is about meeting my wife and her being this just crazy, fun, infectious energy, this light in every room she goes in. And it's really easy when you're in a relationship to, I feel like we've all done it at some point, to be jealous and want to dim that light a little bit. You don't want them to be attracting so much attention all the time once you've been together for a while because of jealousy and like you name it. And so when I met her, I had told her that was like my favorite thing about her was the way she lit up her room and the way she was always dancing and singing and all these things. And when we got married, I vowed to always embrace that rather than try to change that. And my song Leave Her Wild is all about that. And so then I was like, how do you tell that story now to kids? And just chose the wolf.
just the wolves.
Chose the wolves. Yeah.
I just transitioned a little bit. I hope I got this one right now. You did go to school at Cal?
I went to California State, Sacramento.
Economics degree?
Yeah.
I got
Econ.
that. So, I mean, going from Cal, I mean, going from economics degree, Cal State. At what point did you realize, you know what, probably not going to use this much. Music is going to be where I'm headed.
Uh, Before I even went back to school, so when I graduated high school, I instantly had joined bands and I was touring just nonstop and trying to find online classes from all these community colleges so I could be on the road and keep working through community college to at least get my associates. And then after I got my associates, I ended up moving down to LA for most of my 20s, doing music, whether it was in studios or trying to do what I do now. And then I got to a point where I was like, I'm going to go back to school. I'd promised my grandparents and my mom and stuff that because they would help me with bills when I'd be on the road and whatnot. And they'd be like, we will help you and support your dream and let you go chase it. But if you ever decide that you're not going to be in one of these bands or something and that you have to promise us you're going to go back to school. And so I was like, absolutely. And so in my mid 20s, I moved back to Sacramento from LA and got this. I had a business administration associates. And so I was going to go into that program for my bachelor's. And then it was impacted and it was going to take forever and all this extra classes and stuff. And so my counselor was like, in your business admin associates, you also have an econ associates and you have A's in those classes. So have you ever considered economics? And I was like, how fast can I get out? And so it was going to be a year quicker basically because it wasn't an impacted program. And I ended up doing winter sessions and summer sessions and everything and like 21 unit semesters. And I got out in a year and a half because my goal was the second I graduated to hopefully never have to use that degree because I was moving back to LA to try to do music again. And so I got my degree and moved to LA. And that is when I started this solo career, was right after college. And just met a bunch of songwriters down there. And I haven't used my degree yet. It's been like 13 years, thank God. But I feel like there's little bits of econ all around me at all times, but I haven't had to actually have a job with it yet.
You
Which
have a
is,
backup plan though, in case
yeah,
music doesn't work, you can always go back to the office or start the office.
yeah, start the office. Yeah. I
But what was your schedule like then? When you're on the road every day or playing at night and you're trying to study and get a degree, like what's a day in the life of like?
Oh, I took music off when I went back to school to get
Okay.
my bachelor's. Especially with like 21 unit semesters and all that stuff. I even took student loans out so I only would work at a restaurant a couple nights a week so I could just like power through and get out as fast as I could. But now flash backwards when I was doing the community college stuff.
Mm.
And I mean, this is when I was like 20. I'm 39, right? So this is a long time ago. The internet, online school wasn't really a thing yet. And so I would have one class from a community college, from like five different community colleges in California, and be on the road and be on Warp Tour and like all these things, and have to plug my old little flip phone into my computer to get my flip phone service because there wasn't mobile internet yet for
Mm.
computers. And a lot of times we'd lose service driving in a tiny little van, and I'd be in the middle of a test or a final, and it was chaos. We'd get done playing, everybody would be partying, and I'd be rushing to the green room to go hide from everybody so I could take a test. Um, it sucked back then, but I'm really glad I did it. And everybody else was just watching me, just like, that's gonna suck, man. I'm like, yeah, dude, it does. Can you please shut up?